Hey everybody, this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens, and I wanted to give you a quick garden tour before it starts pouring buckets of rain. Horehound, I wanted to highlight this. So this was from a little teeny tiny 4-inch pot that I got back in, I think May, almost June. And it's done what the mint family does and spread happily. This is traditionally known for like cough syrups and cough medicines and stuff like that, so it's doing well. Chamomile is doing a second flowering. I had cut all the flowers off and just let it do whatever it was gonna do. Chocolate mint is getting ready to flower. Spearmint, or peppermint, sorry, is flowering. Spearmint is flowering. I don't know what this ginger mint is doing, and I can't say I care. Flavor isn't impressive, and whatever. Florenza sunflowers are spent. This is probably the last one to have opened, and it's already been pecked at by goldfinches that visit my yard specifically for these things. So I'll grow these again next year. This is the zucchini bed with a nasturtium and all the radishes that were originally in here as companions, and they're flowering and going to seed. And I have to say this spread is pretty impressive. I haven't really had one fully spread out this much yet. So yeah. There's also 2 marigolds in here. I'll save seeds from this again. This is a French marigold I saved last year. And this is as big as they get. They're nice and little, but they still are beneficial plants. And then same thing with this. Though this one is much happier in the sun than that one is in the shade. Gonna do a quick look at this herb garden because I didn't show you last week. Lemon balm is happy. We are finally ending the reign of Japanese beetles, thank God. So this is flowering nicely, or getting big again. It does have some flowers on it though. Lemongrass, that's a stock I rooted myself, and that is a plant I bought. And Good King Henry, which is a wild perennial version of spinach, basically, is flowering, and I assume we'll go to seed soon, so that's exciting. It's doing better than I expected it to. Calendula is, as usual, doing its thing, and here's the lovage, which is like a perennial celery shrub. It's all right. I haven't done anything with it. I've just let it get big. Say hi, chickens. Hey, Leo. It's been really rainy the last few days, so they've been enjoying all the mud. Quick view down here. This is, I do this every time. I think it's row G or H. Buckwheat and tiller radish planted in here. Buckwheat's getting tall. This row hasn't done quite as well. So this is the row I ran the rototiller over when it was still solid dry clay. And it did dig up some of it. You can see some of the kind of ruts that it dug out. And the buckwheat seems to have appreciated grasping that. But this was just plain grass. And there is some buckwheat in here. But what is in here is struggling. Oh, Leo. And then let's make our way to row A. This end is doing a little bit better. This is the south end, so that it gets, in theory, a bit more sun than, I have no words, a bit more sun than out yonder. So here's the very edge shot for you, because I wanted to get better about that. So row A, we start with our dill. That is still a beautiful rock star, and Hungarian semi-hot block wax something. I bought this as a start. There's a couple small fruit on it. I don't really know how big to expect these things. This basil is still happy as a clam, and the Brussels sprouts are starting to get big. So there's 6 each of Long Island, which is green, and Redarling, which is purple, which I think this is the first one. It just kind of worked out. It is halfway in between. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the last Long Island, and then this is Redarling, which makes sense because the stems are purple. So, doing okay. Some are more shaded than others, and I really should probably cover those last ones because they get sun all day. Morning sun and evening sun. So it might be a little hot for them. Parsnips, parsnip patch is still very slow to germinate, as it is. We've had inconsistent rain, and I've been just as inconsistent at watering. But this is the carrot patch. So from here over is carrots. So that is a carrot, and it has a friend next to it, and it's missing up to 2 friends, and it has 1 more friend there. And then there's another 2 there, and here's 1 here, and with every good healthy garden there's some mushrooms in it. So I have no idea what they are. I'm not going to try to eat them. They're just living life, having fun. Let's take a quick look at the Brussels, Abby, the butternut squash. Hi, chickens. Again, more mushrooms, whatever they are. So this plant is probably very close to 110 days, which I think is right about its end of season. And it's putting out new female flowers, and male flowers for that matter. So I don't know, but here's one of the youngest butternuts, smallest, sorry, one of the smallest. The biggest, my jungle, look at my jungle. The biggest is that one, which I don't even know how to describe how big it is because I really can't reach it. Let me see if I can reach it from this side over here. Nasturtiums taking up space, as they do. I think it's right behind here. So here it is, and I'm gonna get my hand in there. Woo, leaf, Leo. So that's a big butternut. It's turning creamy, but it's still decently green. Then we have 2 up there, and there's 2. This may very well be pollinated and gonna go ahead and fruit. There's 2 female flowers there. I think there's 2 on this side too. There's 1 here. There's another one. So we'll see how those do. Ooh, there's another one in there. But worst comes to worst, if they get to a decent eating size but they don't ripen and cure, I can always eat them as they're young, as like a summer squash type use. Let's see if I can find my pumpkins. Here it is. Here's Kai Kai. Hello, Kai Kai. You're starting to look nicely ripe. Turning a bit orange. Decent size, not bad. And then there's the second one that came along pretty late. And this is pretty well shaded and pulling its goddamn nasturtiums. I promise I'll grow very small dwarf nasturtiums next year. There's the second fruit, and then there was a third fruit, but I think it might have aborted it, which I don't blame it. It's really late in the season, especially for a true pumpkin. Cosmos are having a grand old time. This is a big flush on that side. And my morning glories are still being explosive and crazy, but I haven't seen a single flower. And I don't know. They're just spreading. They're not flowering. They're just becoming these crazy giant sheets of, as they do. It's nothing that unusual. I'm just surprised. I feel like they're pretty happy to flower, but this isn't. This is the continued in stasis and useless Hannah's Choice cantaloupe. This was planted pretty late in the season, so I'm really not mad that it's not doing anything. Oh, there's a female flower, but I doubt it'll do anything. I don't know. I don't know if this thing needs more than one plant or what, but I got nothing. The last existing Thai basil, because I pulled the other two out to dry them. We're gonna go on this side of row B, which will not exist next year. I pruned these really heavily last week so that they stop producing flowers and stop producing new baby fruit like that. I shouldn't have more of those this late because I only have like 53 days left until my first frost, and these will die. Everything will get killed in the first frost, which is roughly October 10th. Not a guaranteed date, but that's the first expected frost date for me. So San Marzano 1, 2, 3, ripening nicely, continued. Brandywine, which I think is the most prolific tomato I have this year. I actually found 3, because these stupid nasturtiums, I found 3 great big ripe fruits at the bottom, and I didn't know they were there until I pruned everything. And then 1, 2, 3 of the giant Roma, plus its friend on the ground, which there's technically 4. And Matt's wild cherry, I basically completely and totally decapitated because it was like my husband making dinner, having pork chops. And I completely decapitated it because the bush was, you know, out way past over these Brussels sprouts and way past over that frost cover that I'll show you what's under, and it was way over here above the other Romas, and it was stupid. I couldn't even access anything. So the last day that I worked in the garden, I put in these, what is this? This is the sprouting broccoli. Shade cloth for broccoli. So this is sprouting broccoli. So they'll produce the small little heads, kind of like it'll specifically produce florets instead of big heads of broccoli. It has a shorter season. This specific variety of sprouting broccoli has a shorter season than most. Most sprouting broccoli is for harvest in the springtime. They specifically overwinter and are harvested in the spring. So that went in, and that is actually why I pulled out. So right probably here was where the last or first one of the Thai basil was, and then Prism was right here, and the stem is still in here somewhere. I don't really care. The stem is still in there too. So with that said, I did leave what is it? Gold Star, golden, whatever variety that is. I need to pull out these old bush beans. These are Slenderette. There's probably 5 or 6 Slenderette bush beans, which I actually really liked the variety of, except they're green and impossible to see. If I could get Slenderette green beans purple, they would be honestly my favorite variety, because they're so prolific and so nice and straight. They feed the OCD. Anyway, this is, these little ones are Veller, the new ones. I think I planted like 18 of them. This is one of the Genovese bushes I have that I really need to prune and dry some of. This is in and amongst everything else. Ooh, I love the color of these. Topic change. Look at this absolutely lovely peach and red nasturtium, and this is the one I can never find flowers for, and I always find them on their way out. So there, my favorite color so far. Meanwhile, returning back to what I was on about, I think I picked all the fruit. Now I feel something heavy. Where is it? There it is. This is one of the Orange Sun and Jupiter sweet bell peppers, another bush of Genovese, and that might be another Genovese, or it might be a branch that's rooted, because we all know how quickly basil roots. And then the last actual producing, ooh, here's that nice red nasturtium. And then here's the so much nasturtium. There's a couple more peppers I somehow haven't picked of the Orange Sun and Jupiter bell peppers. These are the last two plants, but they're not going to do anything before the last frost. I might as well tear them out, quite honestly. And all the petunias that were in and amongst all the green beans. I do really like the petunias. If I could get them even dwarfer, like these are supposed to be dwarf, and the flowers are not gigantic, but they're not teeny either. So misnomer on dwarf. My jungle of heart-shaped. That goes about 8 feet up, the trellis anyway, and then there's more of the morning glory. Definitely not doing morning glory again. Okay. Let me go down here and then I'll give you a good look at the potatoes. Like, these morning glories are just stupid. This is the, I can please have this room. Like, look at the stem on the morning glory. It looks like a tree. It legit looks like a tree. Stupid. Anyway, this is the last sad surviving. Yep, and it's been eaten anyway, so you're done for. Telegraph cucumber, so it's gonna start getting cool again as we get into, you know, we have our random hot days, as happens in random hot days as we do get in August and September, but we also get our cool days as the seasons start to transition is too gentle a word, but as the seasons change and hiccup and all that, it's kind of like skipping down the street and then you just trip on it anyway. Another lovely white cosmos, and there was one more down here. Where was it? There it is. And another one opening up. I do really like the cosmos. They open in the late part of the summer, which I guess is a little bit of a disappointment for me. I thought they were earlier in the season. Right, Leo? Oh, there's a great big, I don't know if you guys can see that. Great big grasshopper-y thing. Right, Leo? And last up is the potato row. This is heading broccoli, Waltham. So there's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 6 heading broccoli. And then there'll be in the open part, most of the open part, probably about that much, is going to be the cabbages. 6, 8. There's going to be 8 green express broccoli. No, cabbages, sorry. There's going to be 8 green express cabbages and only 2 red express cabbages. And these potatoes, these are my Burbank russets. I did dig one little sample of them from the very end spot, which had died off a while ago, so it wasn't anything new. It was okay. It was small. It was the end one. I think the ends tend to dry out, end of the rows tend to dry out because the competition with all the catnip, for one, but also the mound kind of suddenly just dropped off for them. So there's that. But like these, I also have these, I can show you one too. Look at that. Nope, it took a tumble. It looks almost like a weird ladybug. There's one, I can show you there. I have Colorado potato beetles, which I didn't realize were this late in the season, but I guess it makes sense. I've never had the potato beetle problem before. So I'll probably be harvesting these russet potatoes in I don't know, 2 weeks. The foliage is pretty ratty anyway, not counting all the damage from the potato beetles. Like, these are chewed off. These stems are chewed off compared to what they, I guess, should look like here. The weevils, or whatever they're called, caterpillars, nymphs, larvae, whatever you want to call them, are probably just making their way along the plant, and they just haven't reached these yet. But most of this damage is actually flea beetles, which I knew was there. I mean, I arguably haven't had problems with flea beetles with these potatoes in the ground. But anyway, so cabbages will come up to about here or here, or something like that. And then the rest of this row will be occupied with my overwintering onions. That will be stacked either 3 or 4 deep, kind of like the carrots. There will be 4 rows of straight in one garden row. So those get transplanted out in October. I've started them. I should probably give you all a picture of them, but that's about it. The sky is looking ominous and ready to rain, and I'm just about on that point. So anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. And please follow my Facebook page, which is Realistic Kitchen and Gardens. Bye.